Nvidia and all the other major tech stocks having a major correction, a major adjustment, a major crash, some might say, over the last 2 weeks. Nvidia, I believe, is somewhere in the land of 30% off their highs. Blackwell is delayed, and there's definitely been pullbacks across the board. The S&P 500 is pulling back. Is this the correction we had to have, and it's just a blip on the way to the moon? Or is this really the beginning of the end of that hype cycle and a massive deflation back to the ground as people start to adjust their expectations around AI and how fast, how high, and how well this really can go with this AI revolution? Emil, what do you think? You're a capital allocator. You pay close attention to this stuff. You even moonlight on CNBC. I don't know why you slum it with us over here. You've been watching this closely. What do you think about the public markets, the corrections in the Magnificent Seven, and the AI hype cycle? Is it over? Is this an opportunity for people to buy in or accumulate some more? What happens next here?
My thinking is it's very hard to look at what is relatively small movement and be like, oh my God, is the world coming down? So yes, Nvidia, I'm looking now, hit a high of $140 a share. And today it's 107. So that is a 30-ish% drop. But it was $42 a share a year ago. So it's 2.5x where it was. Nvidia is a special case because it's this incredibly unique link in the chain. So then the better question is like, okay, Mag 7, like you said, why are they all down? I think these things have like a huge run-ups in the last year. Every hype cycle reflects in the stock market. AI hype cycle reflects in the stock market. And then you do get this like, oh my God, they're spending $50 billion on infrastructure. Where are the use cases? Apple's AI is late. There's no new reason to buy the iPhone 16. We don't really know if that's real or not for a couple of quarters because it takes a while for reality to play out because these stocks are trading on the future, not on the quarter as much. So if a few quarters from now, there are some massive new AI use cases, which we all believe like they're likely to be, then you'll kind of hit the trajectory again. If there's overspending and people are like, wow, there's not as many use cases as we thought for AI yet. Well, then you might go through this like year or two of like, well, maybe we got over irrationally exuberant. So I guess I'm not a day-to-day momentum thinker on this as much as like, let's take it in 3, 6, 12 months intervals.
I think if you are a professional trader in one of these massive firms, you need to be making money every quarter with other people's money, right? Your performance is measured quarter in, quarter out, and you need to panic and you need to go, oh my God, I don't know if this revenue and this reality is going to come in this quarter or next quarter, and I need to not get ahead of my skis, and I need to move money around, and I need to be doing my job. But at the end of the day, it's been proven time and time again that most of these guys don't actually beat the S&P 500. So it's like, what the hell? What are we wasting our time with management fees for? I think if you are maybe a swing trader or maybe you are a long-term investor, the trajectory is clear and it is obvious. We are talking about a fundamental shift in the way that our reality is organized. I mean, it's not exaggeration to say that, right? When you think about a clearly useful AI substrate that exists today, that is only going to get better and better every day. It's the worst it's ever going to be today. Just think about your iPhone, right? Think about your TV. Think about your car. These were technologies that were not capable of innovating and iterating on themselves. AI is a technology that will and is helping to build itself. You are talking about multiple exponentials on top of each other. And then you talk about embodied AI, like robotics and vehicles. I don't care if that takes a quarter, if it takes half a year, it takes 5 years. There is this very small number of companies poised to tax and benefit from this fundamental shift in the world. And I think I mentioned the episode before, on the show before, if Silicon Valley was taking $4 or $5 or $6 out of every 10 in the world economy, by the time this transition is done, and I don't know how long it'll take, I think Silicon Valley and companies in its image will be taking $8, $9, $9.50 out of every 10. And so that's my bet.
Yeah, and the question for people who are not holding something for 20 years is you could get stuck like we did with driverless cars where the timelines were just off by 5 or 7 years. if you didn't have that patience there, you were betting on something that has a long trough of disillusionment. Another example I've been thinking about lately is these GLP-1s, these weight loss drugs. Every week there's some revelation about some other benefit. I'm sure there's going to be some cost, but then you're like, holy cow, how many people in the world have diabetes? How many people have arthritis because they're overweight? Or how many use cases does this thing have? It seems to only grow. And then what are the downstream effects on the healthcare system if people are like literally that much like significantly healthier and the obesity crisis is like stopped? Like 4 companies are going to benefit from that, like even more concentrated than AI is. It's concentrated in a very small number of companies. The downstream effects, like could that go through a trough of disillusionment if they find some side effect that's like they don't know now? Yes. But the North Star, just like with AI, you see it. It's there. It's just like when is it coming, right?
There are whole movies and books about it, right? And I mean, it doesn't take that much imagination. And if you are a curmudgeon that can't see the future on AI after watching countless science fiction movies, then I don't know where you're burying your head.